Hello guys, so patch 870 is here and siege mode is arriving, and Plarium has released a video on it. We did go over that video in a separate video, so let's also go over the patch notes in case there is something extra that is not included in the video. So every clan will have their own fortress, and in the fortress we will have strongholds, mage towers, defense towers, and mana shrines. So there are two currencies that, well, actually five, but two are more like currencies. So there are florins, which are used to upgrade and repair buildings, and of course, as you can imagine, repairs are generally done after a siege in the preparation phase, which we will go over. And the florins are used to activate bonuses and conditions, which we will go over again. So each player will have their own supply, and they will determine how much they need and the extra they can donate to the clan. So the clan leader and deputies use those resources, use as they see fit. Okay. Stronghold is the main building. It starts off with 12 defense teams. It gets upgraded to level 2 and holds, I think, 15 defense teams, and then finally it gets upgraded to level 3, and then it holds 18 defense teams. And no other building's level can exceed the stronghold level, so the stronghold will have to be upgraded first. So you cannot have a level 3 mage tower without the stronghold being level 3 and whatnot. So there is only one stronghold, and capturing it, which is the main building, is one of the victory condition. There are mana shrines. So what good is a mana shrine? So mana shrines do not provide any bonuses, but you can station some defense teams in there, and if those defending teams win, right, if the mana shrine remains intact, you get some additional mana orbs. And also, if they want, the attacker can rebattle. So for example, guys, the enemy has some team in a mana shrine, I beat it, right? So another clan member of mine also thinks they can beat them, right? They can use a rematch scroll, which we'll get into, and beat that mana shrine, beat that team again for some additional mana orbs. So guys, for the defender, holding means additional mana orbs, and for the attackers, you can beat those teams and earn mana orbs as well. And a building only counts as destroyed if all of the defending teams in there die, right? So let's say, guys, you have one very powerful guy in the clan, right? You put up your 6 defense teams in there, right? And 5 of them were defeated, but that strong guy has a very powerful defense team that the enemy just could not beat, and that means the building has survived, right? It doesn't receive any damage. You don't have to use any florins to repair it, as I understand it. So that can be pretty nice. A solid defense team can be pretty good. So there are magic towers. Magic towers can hold up 4 defense teams, and they provide bonuses to the defending teams and all linked buildings as well. So when I say linked, guys, there are paths in between the stronghold, right? In the fortress, and if the magic tower has a direct connection to a node, that node will be receiving the magic tower bonus, right? And you have to choose different bonuses for different towers. So you can't, abuse the same bonus over and over on the magic towers. I think there are like 3 magic towers, not sure, something like that. There are defense teams. the defense towers, but the defense towers provide bonuses only to the defending teams themselves. Yeah, so they do not distribute the bonus to connected buildings and whatnot. So there are posts are the basic nodes. They don't have any bonuses or penalties for the attacker, but they have conditions, right? So for example, I don't know, I'm just going to make this up, but for example, let's say you use champions that do not utilize accuracy in defense, and you choose -8 accuracy to every single champion in there, right? I mean, the stuff that gets used there generally works both ways, right? But for example, if you put up 4 damages there, or some disruptors and some damagers, and select the condition that says champions can't be revived in this battle, that wouldn't be hurting you very much, right? Because you have no revivers anyway. So yeah, you could. So I think you are given a choice between 3 conditions, and you select the condition that you like, and you do your team based on that condition. There is only a single defense team in the post, and if the post is not connected to a magic tower, there is only the condition there. So this is interesting. I thought I would expect, I did expect that the siege mode would be on the same, couldn't find the word, on the same rotation as a CVC, 2 days of fighting and 12 days of resting, but it actually is 12 days of resting, 1 day of matchmaking, and 2 days of battling. So that's a problem, right? Because the thing is, guys, if we count the CVC, the duration in between CVCs as the preparation phase, the CVCs have 12 days preparation and 2 days battling, right? There is no 1 day matchmaking phase. For the CVCs, the matchmaking is only 10 minutes and it doesn't disrupt the cycle. So guys, CVCs are working perfectly on a 2-week cycle. But this makes up a 15-day cycle, guys, which means even if they do not overlap at first, they will be overlapping at some point. Is this by an accident? Clan versus clan and siege overlapping would not be nice, guys. I was hoping, we would have the CVC 1 week and we would have a siege 1 week, right? CVC siege, CVC siege. I was hoping that's how it would go. One of them 14-day cycle and the other of them 15-day cycle is not very good. We'll see how it goes. Maybe the matchmaking phase is actually not a day but an hour, because guys, why would you need a day for matchmaking, right? I mean, you just throw the data in the pool and it matchmakes them. Hopefully it will be a day, not a day and an hour, and then it will be because guys, it would be really bad if CVC and this overlaps, right? These are both demanding activities, right? Demanding a lot of time from all the players, and if they overlap, the clan's performance suffer will one way or the other, or maybe even both ways. There is some sort of condition, I think, to enter the siege, but they are very trivial, right? So if you have been playing raid, you wouldn't have problems. I think you need level 45, you need some activity in the clan, but as I said, guys, if you are playing actively in a normal clan, that shouldn't be a problem. Siege mechanics. Okay, so the siege mechanics have 5 currencies. There are the florins. I mean, those are the currency, the real currency kind of thing, right? And the mana orbs, which we have mentioned, and there are also scrolls, 3 types of scrolls: attack, defense, and rematch. Defense is for, as you can guess, for putting those defense teams. So everyone will have some defense scrolls, and for example, guys, I want to guard the defense tower, right? I go to the defense tower, I spend my defense scroll, and I put a team in there, right? That's how it would work. And of course, the stronger teams should be used in the, special buildings. Posts should be, not neglected, but they are also, not that important because, defense towers provide the bonuses to their defenders. Mage towers provide bonuses to the defenders and all linked buildings. So, the quality should go lower for posts. I mean, one has to decide how they should be going on the defense. The stronghold gets the best teams, the mage towers gets the best teams. I feel like the mage towers should get the best teams because, not only they provide themselves, they also provide like 3 or 4 buildings that are connected to it. The bonuses, that's pretty good. But yeah, defense scrolls are getting used for putting up defense teams, right? Florins are used to upgrade and repair buildings. Mana orbs are used to trigger bonuses or set conditions for posts. Attack scrolls are getting used when you attack. I'm guessing if you attack and die, it gets wasted. Yeah. Attack scrolls are required to initiate battles against opposing clans' garrisons. Their exact number can differ from one siege to another, but all clan members will get one guaranteed attack scroll, and then an additional number will be divided among the entire clan depending on how many eligible players there are and how many garrison slots exist in their opponent's fortress. I see. Okay. And guys, you have to path like, Synchronos. You can't just go and, attack the enemy's stronghold and win, but you have to start from somewhere and you will be able to attack only the neighboring posts and, buildings. Okay. Rematch scrolls are used obviously to do rematches. I mean, you attacked and lost. I think the attack scroll gets used up, but because you have used an attack scroll there, you can attack the same slot with a rematch scroll, and you don't have to use the same team. You can mix and match. So, for example, guys, let's say the enemy has a lot of stone skin in their defense, and you can choose to bring that Gizmak or something, right? But of course, I think there won't be too many rematch scrolls around. There's that. And let's say you set up a defense, right? You can use the champion that you used in your defense in offense. That's good. But you cannot use a champion more than twice in offense, right? So let's say you have built a very good Rotos. You can't use that Rotos to smash the entire enemy teams, right? I mean, you use it twice and you have to change your guy, right? Objectives. Okay, so this was a little bit unclear in the video. Let's see if it's clearer. There are 2 main objectives that a clan must complete to win a siege battle: capture the opponent's stronghold and earn more victory medals overall. To achieve the former, your clan must defeat all the defense teams holed up in the stronghold. Obvious. Victory medals are earned by either capturing the opponent's buildings and posts or successful defending your own. Okay, that's good. But there are 2 victory conditions. What happens if it's 1-on-1, right? So let's read a little more. It's important to remember that the number of victory medals doesn't depend on the building level. Okay. If neither clan manages to achieve both of these goals, there will be no winner in siege. Also, you have to achieve both of them to win, right? You have to. So guys, that basically means if the side that has the more medals does not capture the enemy's stronghold, they will not win, right? And neither will the other. But I think, guys, capturing the stronghold will probably net a good amount of medals. So if one side captures the stronghold and the other doesn't, they will most likely win on the other condition as well. That's what I think. So if we both capture the stronghold, the one with the more medals wins. Okay, I see. Okay, so this was a little bit unclear in the video. So you definitely have to capture the stronghold, and on top of that, you also have to have more medals. Because as I said, guys, the video was a little confusing. I thought, if you captured the stronghold and they didn't, but they have more medals, you could still win, right? I thought, the victory condition that says, capture the stronghold might be more weighted, right? Might be more valuable than the other one. There is no such thing. One of the clans have to achieve that, right? Achieve both of them, right? I mean, obviously, if medals are not literally exactly the same amount, right? Some clan will have more medals, right? That's obvious. Then, basically, you don't care about if the enemy captures your stronghold or not, right? So you do care actually, because you will be given more rewards because your building was intact. But in theory, if the goal is to win, you don't really care too much about if the enemy destroys your stronghold. You care about getting more medals, which means winning more on defense and offense. Okay. I mean, I wish this was a little earlier than 12 hours to release or so. Yeah, this was a little too last minute. Okay, there is a champion there, as you can see, jester type fella. All right, rewards. Siege battles feature a number of different rewards, both individual and meant for the entire clan. So there was an artifact set, guys, but even though they teased it 50 million times in the video, no one talked about the set. I think we'll see tomorrow. So guys, in the siege, if you were fully idle, you are not going to get anything, even if your clan crushed it, because you will need at least one offensive or defensive win. And I think that is really modest and mild, right? Because it doesn't even say one offensive and one defensive, right? You have to win one offensive or one defensive, right? I think it should be very easy. So you have to be, of service to your clan, somehow. Okay, so winning offensive battles and maintaining undefeated defense teams will yield some florins, and you can rebattle the teams in the mana shrines for additional mana orbs. Yeah. And there are some milestone rewards that you can, I think, even claim in the middle of a siege as soon as your clan reaches the necessary amount of medals. So let's say, guys, there is a milestone at 100 medals and your clan reaches 100 medals, and everyone in your clan can get the stuff. And if you win, you get a siege victory chest, and in the video we saw a siege victory chest, and guys, it contained one Otaratrix Lamosu fragment, which made me very, very scared. I just hope that was a low tier reward or something, because guys, this is PvP, right? Winning this stuff is not something very easily done, right? I mean, even if your clan is successful, right, a 60% win rate is pretty successful, I would say. And when I win something that happens once every 2 weeks and I get one fragment, that doesn't speak to how quickly I would be getting that champion, right? It would be taking how long now? 4 years? Yeah, I don't think they would do it that way. So there is probably some sort of variance involved in the victory chest, and maybe there are upgraded victory chests. I mean, I don't think it is possible for it to give one fragment, as a regular reward. I hope there was something wrong with it. And also, guys, when you win siege, you will get another clan trophy, and they will be displayed alongside with your CVC trophies. There is also that. And let us take a look at the champions. So we have a mythical. So Demon Spawn faction, it seems, get their mythical champions only as progressive wars. The other one is Carnage, that comes from finishing Sintranos, hard Sintranos for like 5 months or so. And this one, I don't know how it's all obtained exactly, so let's take a look at him. He's a Magic Affinity support champion from the Demon Spawn faction. So this form of his is all about stealing turn meters. So he attacks one enemy twice, and he decreases the target's defense by 2% with each hit up to 20%, and also steals 10% turn meter on each hit, right? Which means he would be stealing 20% turn meter. That is a pretty good amount, by the way. 20% A1 turn meter steal is pretty good. Attacks all enemies, removes all buffs from all enemies, and places block active skills on them. And he steals 20% turn meter from the enemies that he puts block active skills on. Actually, not exactly like that. If you have block active skills somehow on the champions, which is very unlikely, but it could be the case, then he steals 20% turn meter. And then he steals 100% turn meter, attacks them, and puts their skills on cooldown. That is, by the way, an abnormally high level of books for a mythical champion. Single form requiring 7 books is pretty insane. I think only Aphidusus alternate form requires 7 books. Okay, what does his passive do? Whenever he loses 30% in a single turn, deals damage. Deals damage of 30%. That's interesting. So he doesn't have to lose 30% in a single hit. Let's say someone attacked this guy and dealt 20%, and then someone else deals 10%. He will hit that guy for 30%. And thing is, guys, that can become useful because the alternate form of him is, if I recall, an HP. So if you give him 100k HP, he's gonna deal like 30k, right? Very serious. And whenever he also loses 30% HP again, he gets 30% HP shield. Interesting. And it's not on a cooldown. That's interesting. And I don't know why they have upgraded the HP aura, they have upgraded the speed aura and whatnot on mythical champions, but the accuracy and resistance auras have not been upgraded. As you know, the best accuracy aura in the game is 80, right? Mitrala supports it. I think Ginro the Stork supports a few champions that have it. And this guy also has an 80 accuracy aura. Let's take a look at his alternate form. Yeah, in the alternate form, he's a bomb champion, but it is a little bit weird, guys, because, bombs work with attack, right? So, and he's an HP champion. That is a little bit weird. Maybe his bombs are HP based, but, there is nowhere, there's nothing that suggests that he's doing those bombs with. The bombs are very beautiful, but, the synergies are pretty good, but, HP based champion putting up bombs. So you could say, if you are going to use him as a bomb champion, you would be going high attack, right? Obviously. But the thing is, because he's an HP champion, he will have low base attack, right? So that would mean getting his attack high would be challenging. Of course, we will need to see that. Maybe they have given him high attack anyway. So the first ability places a bomb with 50% chance for each hit. That adds up to a 75% combined chance, and more importantly, it could also 25% of time he would be putting up 2 bombs, right? Which is insane. That would kill most champions. And also he gets healed by 10% for each bomb that he places. Okay. The second ability is really insane. Attacks everyone, places 2 bombs on all enemies, and if they have stone skin, or they have lower HP than this guy, he immediately detonates the bombs. That is pretty insane, right, guys? Let's say you give this guy 7k attack. That would mean the bombs would be hitting for 35k. And as you know, Stone Skin receives quintuple damage or something. That kind of would mean all of the bombs would be detonated immediately. And all of the Stone Skins would disappear. And the champion could even die, I think. Yeah. I think bombs bypass Stone Skin. So yes, with 7k attack, you would be dealing 70k damage. Not bad. You know, would kill most champions, but of course can't kill support or HP based champions. Then also stuns everyone that had the bombs detonated. Okay, and guys, this champion being a mythical, as you can see, they get books in the form of 20% ignore resistance, which is insanely good, right? I mean, you give this guy 500 accuracy and he would be placing bombs on a champion with 625 or so resistance with ease. Heals this guy by 50% HP and also places weaken on everyone, which work with bombs, and gets an extra turn. Wow, that is pretty insane. That's very good synergy, guys, because bombs do work with weaken, right? They do not work with decreased defense because bombs ignore defense, but yeah. So guys, you start, you heal yourself, you put up weaken, you put up the bombs, and you trigger them, boom, right? Very nice. He could also be a very nice solo champion. Okay, so the passive has a 100% chance to reflect all bomb debuffs. Wow, so specific. Okay, that's funny. The ultimate Bomal champion for sure. Also 30% chance of reflecting all other debuffs. Oh, interesting. And whenever an enemy is killed by a bomb, he gets healed by 20%. Interesting champion. I wonder how we will get him. Hopefully faster than 4 years. Next up we have the Lizard Man faction unit champion, Legateox. Let's see what he does. Attacks one enemy twice. The ally with the highest crit damage will team up. Okay. So the ally, there is an ally attack in there. The damage dealt by this champion and the ally joining attack will be increased by 10% for each debuff on the target. And guys, highest crit damage would mean your best damage most of the time. This would work pretty nice in Hydra. And you know, there are good Lizardmen in Hydra. There is Krisk, there is Nekmo. So you can trigger the faction ally, faction ally, right? Yeah, faction ally skills. That can be doable. He's a pretty definite attack champion, okay? Attacks one enemy thrice. Each it will ignore 10% of defense for each debuff on the target, up to 50%. Each it will also increase this champion's attack by 10%, which is, I think, permanent. Yeah, this kills this enemy stuff, of course, as you know, it doesn't work in Hydra. In Hydra, you do not kill, you do decapitate heads, right? It doesn't count as a kill. Okay, Wrath of the Legion, that's the faction unit skill, and we will have then a faction unit passive. Let's see what the faction unit skill is. Attacks all enemies. Before attacking, places a 50% increased attack, 30% increased crit damage, and places an extra in enemies under any debuffs. Wow. This champion is pretty good for Hydra damage, that's for sure. But he doesn't bring anything that's useful. Yeah. I mean, he does do good damage, but the thing is, if the damage is good enough, that is worth it, right? For example, Ecclesia doesn't bring anything either, but she does, you know, do a lot of damage. So let's see what the faction ally skills are. With ignores strength and ally protection and shield buffs, that's PvP, nothing for Hydra. Two faction allies, if enemies are killed by this skill while under a debuff, place of block revive. Another PvP, absolutely useless in Hydra. Deals 20% more damage for each debuff on the enemy, stacks up 100%. This is very good, but guys, 3 faction allies is an ask, right? I mean, I was able to find 2. The third is, you know, in question, right? Krisk and Nekmo, and I don't think there's a viable third for Hydra. He might have some PvP use though, right? Let's see. Fills the champion turn meter by 5% whenever an enemy or an ally receives a debuff. That's of course magnificent, right? In Hydra, we are raining debuffs left and right. Let's see. Has a 25% chance of counterattack whenever an ally is attacking by an enemy under a debuff. That is nice damage in Hydra again, 25% counterattack. It's a bit low, but it is extra damage. Decrease damage this champion receives from enemies under debuffs by 50%. Very nice, right? I mean, you can make him a pure nuker, right? You don't have to put any survivability on him. Sulfurion is another lizard, by the way. It could be the case. And the damage allies receive from enemies under debuffs by 20. This is insanely good. The second one is very good. All allies are immune to ship debuffs. Yeah, so he was mostly done with PvP in mind. But I don't think that's possible, you know, for Lizardman doing a PvP team. Okay. Ally attack in battles by 30% and ally accuracy in battles by 40%. Only applies to Lizardman. We'll have to see. Not bad, let's say. Ozaratrix Lamassu, we have seen that. Beautiful champion, very good. And we have another diamant copper coin. And by the way, I don't think this is... So I think this is just a champion that arrives with the patch, and I don't think he is related to the siege at all, right? This guy might not be related to the siege either. This lady is the siege reward. I don't think any of these champions are siege rewards other than that Ozaratrix Lamassu though. Okay, Diamant Copper Coin, the last champion. It's a Void Affinity support champion from Ogryn tribes. A1 attacks all enemies, always has potential, right? Very good potential for Hydra and stun set. Heals all ally by 5% of this champion's max HP. Heals by addition 2% for each buff on this champion. And there are 20% additional heal with the books. Well, that is not bad at all, right? Not bad at all. Attacks all enemies, increase the duration of ally buffs. That's also pretty good, right? Buff extension can be very, very useful in Hydra. Fills the champion by 10% and fills the champion turn meter by an additional 5% for each. Ooh. I mean, that can almost mean an extra turn, right? In Hydra, let's say you have 4 buffs on everyone, right? Which is a little bit, you know, optimistic, but, you know, not absolutely outrageous, right? It's not, you know, very far from the truth. It can happen, especially with buff extensions. I mean, let's say if you bring Mikage and this one, 2 buff extenders, you could definitely have that. So if you have 4 buffs on the entire team, and Hydra teams consist of, you know, 6 champions, so that's going to mean 24 buffs, which would mean he would gain 130% turn meter. And the cooldown goes down to 3 turns when booked. Yeah, this is very beautiful. And finally, he places 3 intercept stacks on a target ally. 3 is pretty good. And increase resistance and strengthen on everyone. Wow. I do like that, okay. So the A2 basically gives an extra turn, deals damage, buff extends. The A1 heals a lot, right? And the A3 protects us from the provokes and the fears. And increase resistance and strength. That is pretty good. Okay. Kingpin. So he has a chance to convert debuffs into their buff versions. Decreased attack gets converted into increased attack buff. Decreased defense gets converted into the increased. Interesting. So, I mean, there is only decreased attack on Hydra, I suppose, and the chance of it is 50%. This does not have Hydra use. 20% Evergreen Speed Aura. Not bad either. Yeah, I would like to see him in Hydra. It does look good. So I think as this guy is not a, you know, siege reward either. They are just champions that are getting added to the game in this patch. I think Ozaratrix Lamassu is the only siege. So at the beginning of the video, I did say differently, but I think that mythical champion is from, you know, shards and not the reward from siege. But we'll see, of course. And finally, the Loriaka and Jingwon buffs are arriving, which we have discussed previously. And I think that is it. Okay. So let's see how it goes tomorrow. I don't know how it's going to be. I mean, are we going to start with a preparation phase, or are we just going to go with a matchmaking phase and have our first one immediately? Yeah, I think it will remain to be seen. Yeah. So, and I will see you on stream. Good luck to you in Siege, guys. Bye-bye.